Freud, MD, was
Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist of Jewish origin.
Freud is undoubtedly one of the critical thinkers who was most influenced by the truth of his century.
Sigmund Freud was born on May 6, 1856 in Freiburg in Austria.
Freud is the father of psychoanalysis.
Famous approach to the cure nervous by the psychologist analysis.
Freud was an atheist who fought against religion, which he considered an obstacle to human intelligence and its development.
Freud taught at the University of Vienna from 1883 until he had to move to London in 1938 to escape anti-Semitism.
Focusing in 1876 on the study of the nervous system, Freud obtained his medical degree in 18.
He practiced medicine traditional nerve in his medical practice.
The death of Freud's father in 1896 also accelerated the birth of psychoanalysis.
In this fact, in 1897, that Freud began researching dreams more deeply, which led him to his more important discoveries, the existence of fantasy and the Oedipus complex.
By the later term, Freud described the test that await the children between the ages of 3 and 5.
In 1905, Freud invented a theory which earned his many critics among physicians, but also led to a real school of thought, joined, for example, by very important thinkers of the time, including the Austrian psychologists and psychiatrists.
From 1920 onward, Freud made the theoretical move of focusing on two big binary principles, life and death.
According to Freud, they make up each individual human being, which by now they define as the combination of the ID, the ego, and the superego.
He wrote a book named The Future of Evolution, and then he had cancer of the jaw since 1923, and he was cut up by the Nazis. And Freud's books are actually burned in 1934 in Berlin, Germany, and he later died in London on September 23rd in 1939.
According to Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory of personality, personality is composed of three elements: the ID, the ego, and the superego. These three work together to create complex human behaviors. The ID is the only component of personality that is present from birth. This aspect of personality is entirely unconscious and includes of the instinctive and primitive behaviors. According to Freud, the entire ID is the source of all physical energy, making the primary component of personality. The ego. The ego is the component of personality that is responsible for dealing with reality. According to Freud, the ego develops from the ID and ensures to the impulses of the ID that can be expressed in a manner acceptable in the real world. The superego. The superego is the last component of personality to develop. Okay, no. Perdón, lo cortas antes de the ego porque no dije todo de the ego. Bueno, va. The ego. The ego is the component of personality that is responsible for dealing with reality. According to Freud, the ego develops from the ID and ensures that the impulses of the ID can be expressed in a manner acceptable in the real world. The ego functions in both conscious, preconscious, and unconscious mind. The superego is the last component of personality to develop. The superego is the aspect of personality that holds all of the internalized moral standards and ideals that we acquire from both parents and society, our sense of the right and wrong. The superego provides guidelines for making judgments.